So you were one of the top students this year, CSEC for SVG. Tell us a little about how is preparations for the examinations?
Well, because of the things that were happening in St. Vincent, it was a bit tough because volcano and COVID was a thing as well. And online learning paid a bit of a challenge. So all of those three things combined made it a little difficult, but we pulled through.
Wow. So when did you learn about, or what was your reaction when you learned that you got all these subjects?
Well, I was quite excited, because right 16, I was real anxious for this thing. I was like, I wonder, am I passing? And then I see it and I was like, yo, I passed them. So I was excited.
Okay. Did you choose all the 16? What stream were you in?
I was doing science, but I did choose all 16.
Okay. Which was your favorite subject?
Let's see. It's kind of difficult to say which, but I enjoy the sciences. But I don't really think I have so much of a favorite subject, but I have subjects that I enjoy, which are the sciences.
Okay, so I guess you have a career path in the sciences, and
Yes.
I don't know if you want to care to share what.
Well,
that is.
I mean, yes, it's a science, but I was more thinking of going into the information technology field, and because I like the field and of computers and things you could do on them, because I prefer to be a programmer, but I like in IT.
What strategy did you use to study?
It's a bit of everything. Sometimes do it in the evening, sometimes in the morning, sometimes all day. I don't really have a set pattern, but I did make a timetable as to what to study which days. But I don't have a set pattern as to when I study.
Okay. I know you said the volcanic eruption did have some setbacks, and maybe the COVID as well. You said so. What was the driving force behind you excelling?
Well, personally, I want to excel. I want to do well. But also, I had people behind me. And also, I have to thank God for success, But I had people, I have parents, I have grandmother, I have parents' friends, I have other aunts who help me. And so, all of that help, as well as my personal want to do well, is kind of what pushed me.
And of course, balancing it, you said with.
Yeah, you had to, yeah. I like, as I told you, I like to use a computer, so I like to play games. So when I'm not studying, I'll be most likely playing some kind of game. Or maybe be outside, breathing a bit.
Okay, so now that you've finished this level, what next can we expect from you?
Well, what I currently want to do, or what I'm trying to do, I'm applying for university in Trinidad University, Southern Caribbean. So I intend to study IT, computing, and biology on the zoology emphasis. So might try something.
Maybe what about scholarship, or this is on your own?
Well, I would try to apply for one. Yeah, since it's a Adventist university, there are challenges I could go through the mission, to get a scholarship. So I'll go through those channels.
What would be your advice to persons who didn't get get 16 subjects and maybe feel a little bit intimidated or not wondering what to do with their subjects?
You see, I did 16 because I felt I was able to do it. Whatever subjects you do, how many of you do, is doing subjects. I mean, while it may seem as you want to do this because you are your name in the newspaper or something. While that is good, you should do subjects that you want, that will affect you, you'll be able to use. You shouldn't try and push for something that just for the fame. Do something that you want to do. So 5 subjects, 10 subjects, doesn't matter. 16, doesn't matter. Do what you have to do to get what you want.
And that's what you did.
That's what I did.
Wow. So what about your classmates? Have you reached out to them and
Talked to some of them this week. Talked to them last week when results came out, and we correspond.
Did you know that you topped?
Well, I did not top the school for sure, but it came as I was kind of apprehensive. I was wondering, would I really do this in the country? So I wasn't really expecting it. Let's see.
Because you weren't sure who sat, how many.
Exactly, and there's always somebody better in something.
I must appreciate thanks to the Almighty God, because he brought up in a Christian institution, well, at home and at school, a Christian institution. And I must also say thanks to the teachers who were behind him. He had a great principal. Even sometime coming for classes, he will pick him up. And also class teacher, Mr. February, would also pick him up and drop him off back. And so I appreciate, want to appreciate the teachers for being behind him. His mother, who is a teacher as well, I appreciate her because she would be behind him, you know, night after night. I would encourage him. I used to tell my pattern of study is that don't wait everything. I would say 90% of your study should be in the classroom. Pay attention, focus, because when you focus, you don't have to worry about studying at home because you will just regurgitate, being able to remember. I would say to him, this is my strategy. I pick an object, whether it be the class board, whether it be a bench or something. So when I see that in mind, I remember every single thing that the teacher or the lecturer is presenting. And so I would give him that advice from time to time. Always divide the work. Don't try to put a whole heap of study one time. It won't make it because you will just cram yourself. And cramming was only temporary, but you want to remember things for life. I would say to him, I remember things from since in Form 1, you know, and I show him some of my strategies that I used when I was at university and every other different thing, pull them together. And above all, he was successful. I was expecting him to be successful because I know he put real time into his work. You know, he is not a person you would find playing around too much. As he said, he would be on his game if he is not studying. And I don't pressure him to do anything, you know, because I know he has work. I would say my time and comparing, I'm saying you could make it. And I'm so glad that at the end of the day, he did make it. I was a bit disappointed because I've been seeing it happening over the years that the Ministry of Education tend not to honor schools outside of Kingston. Because it happened not once, not twice, not 3 times. All the time you see it happening. And they practically refuse to acknowledge him as being the top student of the country by virtue of the news and everything like that. And I was a bit disappointed with them with that. But nevertheless, as I always say, put your best foot forward and God will do the rest.
Amen. So, Mommy, I know you're a teacher here as well.
Yes, please.
How did you manage, and were you expecting this from your son?
Well, how did I manage? I had to manage. You know, I had my schoolwork to do, and whenever I would have always promised myself, whatever I need to do for him, I am going to do. It's my child, our child, and we have to do what we have to do, you know. So in spite of the fact that I have my schoolwork, I have my school to come to, to come and teach, I know in the back of my mind I have to support him, so I dedicate time, whether it's at night or in the morning or when.
How did you balance it?
Well, whenever he asks for help, I normally tell him, you are such a person, you hardly want to ask for help. But whenever he asks for help, I will go and assist him. I will leave what I'm doing once I'm at home, and I will assist him. Or I will tell him, hold on a while, let me finish what I'm doing, then I will return to you. At the same time, I had a lot to do. We had a lot to do to help him. But at the same time, he did a lot on his own. You know, I observed him over the years, and I know I would have said to myself, 4 things would have contributed to his success, as far as my observation goes. Faith in God. He prays a lot. He is a Christian. He believes in God, and he always prays. Diligence. He is always diligent. He don't want to get anything wrong. And if he does, he goes all the way trying to find out why it is wrong and what he could do about it. Diligence. Also commitment. Being there, getting his work done. I never really had to say, go in your book. I remember once I asked him to come out of your book because it was about midnight and he's still there tallying, trying to find out why he got this wrong. He was doing ADMAT, practicing. And I had to say, AJ, leave the book. Just leave the book and go to your bed. And then wake up 4 o'clock and tackle it again, which he didn't even bother to do. He just continued until he was finished. So commitment, faith in God, and how could I forget support? You know, we supported him. His teachers supported him well. Mountain View teachers are sent from God. They support him well, you know, and I believe they have a special blessing. Mountain View teachers believed in him as they believe in all our other students, but it gave him the support that he needed, you know, and I think those 4 factors contributed to his overall success.
I know you were really proud of his achievements, at least here at the secondary level. How did you react to upon learning that about the news that he topped USA and topped in first SVG?
Well, I am an introvert. I am not overly loud about my excitement, but this morning I had to be excited. I mean, he was still quietish, but I said, I'm going to be excited. I have to be excited, you know. I was excited, but I was disappointed too, because I believe in my own humble personal opinion that he is the top. I don't believe he's one of the top. I believe he is the top. So give credit where credit is due. But that's the news, but this is my personal opinion. How did I react to the news? I was excited. I was excited. I was thankful to God. You know, God has been with him.